Good afternoon. It's bourbonblog.com. Some exciting news that we wanted to bring you live. If you've been following what Bourbon Blog's been talking about, whiskey news in general, it's happened. American Single Malt is now real. And for the first time in 52 years, the U.S. government is adding a new type of whiskey to its regulations that we've been enjoying some from Dave Bob there from Town Branch, Lexington Brewing Distilling Company for quite some time. Dave Bob, thanks for joining us to talk about this news. And I'm having some Town Branch single malt, American single malt, now official.
Cheers. Yeah, I have a single barrel right here with me too. So cheers to, I love hearing American single malt is real.
It is real. I mean, it's felt real for a while because ever since, well, you all started how many years ago? Because we tasted some really old whiskey that you all had laid down when I was there last at Town Branch with you.
Pierce, our founder, started distilling and laying down barrels the autumn of 2008.
Excellent.
And you're talking about Dr. Pierce Lyons, our founder, born and raised in Ireland.
That's right.
Master brewer, master distiller, PhD in yeast fermentation. Grew up in Ireland and spent his time distilling in Ireland.
That's right. And at the Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company, you all have been doing it for so many years. You're actually about to release a very old one, the oldest that you've ever released. Is it 16 years old? Is that right?
We do have some that are that old and aging.
Okay.
But we're releasing our 15-year-old
15
from one single barrel.
Right.
Our single malt whiskey, bottle and bond at 100 proof. As I said, 15 years old. And this was distilled and entered the barrel July of 2009.
I knew we were close, and that's what happens when we're live. I knew we were pretty close to 16 because we tried, you and I that day, all types of what you had out there. But what you're releasing, we tried, and it's dynamite. We're going to have the story soon on Bourbon Blog, so be watching. But it's dynamite. It's very limited, and people can find it where? Where will they be able to find it?
So right now, our visitor center on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, we have some bottles right there. Also, we have some available in Kentucky, and then about 7 other states off the top of my head, Illinois, New Jersey. I'll have to get you the complete list.
That's all right.
Well, all the states where these are being allocated. And it's coming in a beautiful box set that tells the whole story, including an incredible challenge coin that gets everyone a lifetime free tour with that coin.
But very, very limited and so delicious. Be watching. No matter what, though, I mean, whether you've been tasting the Town Branch for a while, many wonderful, of course, brands making American single malt across the country. They had been labeling it single malt, of course, but it was not an official TB category until just this week, and it will really be effective January 19th.
January 19th, yeah.
2025. Why is this important to Town Branch and to all the distillers making this wonderful whiskey?
I think when you're looking at distillers all over America, from Oregon to Washington, Pennsylvania to Kentucky, it's getting that recognition of something amazing and difficult and creative that we all been doing for a really, really long time. And more than others, more than us, because we make bourbon in Kentucky.
Right.
But to have that recognition and be given a standard that will be known internationally it's big for us and big for consumers. They know what is an American single malt whiskey. What does it consist of? How is it being made? If you've ever studied the Bourbon Stewardship in that book, they're going to have to update that book now. When you're looking at, what is whiskey in Canada or Japan, or now what is single malt whiskey in America, we have to update that.
We're updating all the books. And again, this is such important news because we've had the category of bourbon, of rye, other categories, but really for the first time in 52 years, this is something just remarkable. It's the first new type of whiskey in America for many, many years. And again, made from 100% malted barley, distilled entirely at one distillery, mashed, distilled, and matured in the USA, matured in oak casks at a capacity not exceeding 700 liters, distilled to more than 160 proof, which of course 80% alcohol by volume, and then bottled at 40% or 80 proof or more. Those are the rules. When you go to AmericanSingleMaltWhiskey.org, you can find. When you heard the news, what did you toast with, and what was everyone saying there at the distillery?
I've been so busy with the launch of this. We didn't really have too much time to toast. This is probably my first toast, and also the start of my vacation. So this is working out perfect. Doing it with you.
You're really. I appreciate you being so flexible. Appreciate all Dave Bob does for the whiskey industry. He's such a great guy and good friend, and we love your whiskeys. We love what you do. I'm putting this website up there too, so they can find it. AmericanSingleMaltWhiskey.org is where you can learn more, and of course, follow Bourbon Blog, follow Town Branch, everything that Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company does. But really, you all. I mean, there were some real early adopters, but you all were some of the very first, well, really the first in Kentucky to make the American Single Malt, right?
Yeah, I would, since Prohibition, we were, right. We're such a unique story with Pierce being Irish and coming to Kentucky, and the story of how did we start with whiskey is such a funny story. So imagine Dr. Pierce Lyons and Mark Kaufman, our former retired now master distiller, and they got these beautiful, gorgeous, handmade dual copper pot stills coming in from Scotland. And it's late spring, and these pot stills are coming in. And Kaufman's really excited, along with Mark Lyons, Mark's son, and right. They're like, okay, let's figure out our bourbon mash bill. And they're talking to Pierce. And Pierce starts laughing, and he says, no. We're going to start with a good whiskey first. And that's what started it. We didn't make bourbon first. Because of Pierce, we made single malt whiskey first. And now that gives us some amazing older age barrels, and a lot of barrels that we're experimenting with. Even we've been experimenting with different single malt whiskey. You can tell with what we've been drinking here with this cast strength that was aged in Oloroso. And we have more barrels that we're experimenting with, and some new ones that we're filling up in January. So us and distillers all over the U.S. with the single malt category, we're going to continue to innovate and experiment with barrel aging and distilling. So it's amazing to get this news at this time. In 2024, going into 2025, and every year getting more recognition for the single malt category.
It's such big news in the U.S. and across the world, because there's so many. Because you've worked all over the world in whiskey, Dave. You've done such a great job always. And so this one we are drinking is 11-year-old. It's a cast strength. It's your old single malt. It was actually fully aged in the Oloroso, right? It wasn't aged. Finished. This was fully aged in 11 years. So imagine if you've had finishes. This is fully aged 11-year-old. This is so. Look how thick that is.
Oh, it's the darkest black cherry you could get. When it came out, I mean, just full of raspberry, dark chocolate in a single malt. I mean, it was incredible, the tasting notes. And this is just tip of the iceberg, what you're going to see from us and incredible distilleries all over the U.S. with more experimentation going on and creativity.
Absolutely. We can't wait for the new release that's coming. There's been so many other great releases we've had, like the Overproof this year. So many wonderful ones. If you're a whiskey fan, take a moment, like this video, share it. This is probably some of the most exciting news. Well, it really is, of the whole year in American whiskey. And it comes at the end of the year. It gives us all a reason to celebrate and raise a toast. Keep up the great work there. You and the Town Branch team, you're doing such wonderful work. Bourbons, the rye, everything, all the spirits you're doing. Of course, we don't want to confuse it too much, but you all also have an Irish whiskey that's made there in Dublin. I mean, so many wonderful products that you all have.
Yeah, we do. Our Life of the Barrel and how we're able to brew and distill in two iconic regions, Kentucky and Ireland, is absolutely amazing. So to everyone out there, check out more local and national brands of single malt whiskey. Go visit them, go try them. If you're a bartender in America, I urge you in 2025, get creative.
That's right.
Let's put an American single malt cocktail on the menu, and share more of this with the U.S.
Let's do what would be your favorite American single malt cocktail? What would be your?
Oh, it varies, and it really depends on the malt whiskey, because certain ingredients can really change.
Oh, and we may have lost him. I know he was Dave. You know what I'm gonna do, Dave, Bob, so amazing. I'm going to make sure I put a recipe just from him up on bourbonblog.com. I know he's heading out, his battery is running low. That's what happens when we're live, but also what happens when we're live is we have so many wonderful friends and family of Bourbon Blog like you watching. We have hundreds watching right now. So thank you for that. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year to all of you. I think we may have Dave, Bob, just coming back in just a moment. He is, it looks like he may be populating on the screen, and that's okay. I know he was plugging in his phone, but we'll see. We'll stand by one moment and see if we can get him back. If not, it's all right. Tell us down below what some of your favorite single malts are, American single malts. I've always been a fan of Town Branch in Kentucky. There's so many great distilleries in Kentucky now making those. Of course, so many others. We were one of the very first media outlets to cover Stratahan's back in the day in Colorado when they came out. Also, our good friend Rick Wasman there at Copper Fox in Virginia. Just no end of just really delicious American single malts. And I see many of you all tweeting back, leaving your comments, telling us what your favorite are too. So again, the place to go, learn more about it on bourbonblog.com. And I'm also going to put up American Single Malt Whiskey.org. Talks about the rules, the designations. We're so thrilled that everyone there at the Society did all the work they did. And we'll be bringing you much more on Bourbon Blog in the days and months to come about this exciting news. I'm Tom Fischer. Happy holidays. Thanks so much for watching.